Okay, let's take a look at the next class. Now I have some good news for you. The next class, which is going to be about Ethical Hacker Pro, is going to be easier. It really is, and I'll explain why. First things first though, you will have to buy new material, and we'll deal with that, right? We'll deal with that once we get to class. If you wanted to get the new material first, then you can use that 14-232TA, and that's the code. And then you want to make sure that you get what's right there at the top of the screen. Test out Ethical Hacker Pro, and that'll be the right stuff for the class. Now, why is it going to be easier? Well, it actually is covering less information. So I know you're looking at this going, well, there's 15 things, and that's pretty much what we got in networking, which isn't. You got a couple more. But let's take a look. For instance, there's our social engineering, which I just talked about. So let's take a look at social engineering. So there's social engineering and physical security and countermeasures. And if we looked at social engineering in the other one, right, there's a threat stuff, there's other things that are in there. Reconnaissance, a couple of things. Scanning, a couple of things. Enumeration. So I can keep going and going through this, but these are a lot shorter. I mean, you just to remind you, you guys finished 5, right? TCP/IP protocol, and TCP/IP protocol was twice as long as this is. So even though you're looking at these sections and you're saying, well, there's 15 sections, it's like, yeah, you're right, there is 15 sections, but each of the sections is smaller. Each of them is much smaller. What this is going to have that's going to be a lot more fun, of course, is that it actually has labs. And of course, we'll do labs that are actually face-to-face labs in class that you're doing live. But as you know, Test Out is really, really good at making it look like it's live. And so you'll get the opportunity to basically what you'll be doing is focusing on a section of networking that is highly, highly employable, that is more interesting to look at. And because you're looking at that section, yes, you're going to go deeper, but there's less to learn about that. Now, they want you, of course, to be super, super proficient, and that's not what we're really doing in this class. The class will be set up the same way. Do the labs, take a look at the screens, we'll have tests, that kind of thing. And we've already talked about the thing that if you want to do the EC Council's Certified Ethical Hacker, right, then that's going to be a couple of years, because they want you to do this stuff over and over and over again and prove that you've done it. That certification is like, if you get that, here comes the $90,000 job. It's not a problem, right? We'll actually be doing this one. That's the domain that we'll end up prepping for. And it's mostly labs, right? So it'll be just labs that you're doing. Oh, this one's got 9 questions. In any case, so the first thing I wanted to tell you, because networking had so much information in it, especially when you look at IP and you look at Wi-Fi and you look at the physical cabling and Ethernet, I mean, right there, that is just so much information. And then we did other stuff beyond that. This is dealing with a spattering of information, and while it's getting into some things deeper, it's showing you physically really how to do it. How do you actually physically do this, and what does it mean? And you've already got the fundamentals, so we don't need to talk about how IP functions. We don't need to talk about how Ethernet functions. We can just focus on what kind of exploits happen at those levels. What do people do in order to hack network at those levels? And so that's why it's going to be easier. Not only is it connected with hands-on, it's just simply less information. So I look forward to having you in the CMP 251 class, and I look forward to that being face-to-face and not being separated by COVID-19. And I would imagine that's going to be over by the fall. So I look forward to seeing you then, and I'm excited about this ethical hacking and what you're going to do in it. Each one of these, right, is something you would do as an ethical hacker. Malware's not, and that's more of this is what malware is, and that's why it's, again, not super heavy. It's just got a little bit of information in there. Any case, if you have any questions, let me know, and about this or anything really, but particularly I'm talking about this. Let me know, and I'll either email you back or we'll set up a time to talk about it.